So how exactly do you transition off of one MS medicine and onto another? In this video, I invite you to enter the mind of an MS clinical neurologist as we make decisions like this to keep patients safe on a day-to-day basis. Don't turn away, because all of that starts right now. Howdy, and thanks for learning about MS with me, Aaron Boster. I started this YouTube channel to help my own MS clinic patients learn between visits. And it's my sincere hope that through these videos, I can help you learn too. And in this video, I wanted to share with you a recent discussion that I had with a family in clinic. A patient has been doing well up until very recently on Gilenya, fingolimod, and unfortunately has had some breakthrough disease. A recent MRI showed a new spot, and they suffered an MS attack that required steroids. And so together we've decided that Gilenya has failed her and we're going to escalate to a different drug, Mavenclad, cladribine. And the question presents itself, how the heck do we go from Gilenya to cladribine? And I wanted to share kind of that thought process with you today. Hey, really quickly before we move on, do me a favor. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please consider doing so. Those two actions teach the YouTube algorithm that you really like my content and help push it out so that more people impacted by MS can benefit. Thanks! The first thing that we need to do is understand the way that Gilenya works and the way that Mavenclad works. So when you take Gilenya, it forces your white blood cells to become trapped inside your lymph nodes. It takes them out of the bloodstream, or 80% of them. And if those cells are not circulating in your bloodstream, they can't gain access to your brain. And so it works by creating this barrier method, if you will, to prevent the cells from reaching their target. And when you stop Gilenya, the cells come back out. Mavenclad works very differently. Mavenclad targets adult B and T cells in a pulsed immunosuppression. I like to call Mavenclad microinduction because you take 5 pills the first month and your counts drop down for a moment and come right back up. And then you take 5 pills the second month and they drop down again. And then a year later you repeat. And so these medicines are very, very different. And there's a couple tricks and traps as you transition off Gilenya onto Mavenclad. When you stop Gilenya, the cells don't all come back out in the bloodstream right away. According to the clinical trials, at 3 months, over 80%, like 83% of people have had their cells leave the lymph nodes and they're now circulating in the bloodstream at normal levels. This is important because if you didn't give time for the cells to come out in the bloodstream and you gave someone Mavenclad, Mavenclad would have no cells to kill. Mavenclad has a very, very short half-life. It's literally only in your body for a day after you swallow the pill. And so when you take 5 days in a row, by day 7, there's no Mavenclad. If you stopped Gilenya on Monday and then took 5 days of Mavenclad, it wouldn't really be effective because you didn't allow time for the cells to come back out. So with this information, one might decide to wait after stopping Gilenya for a couple months before starting Mavenclad. But there's a problem, because when you stop Gilenya, there's a small risk of what's called a rebound, where the cells leave the lymph nodes and they bum rush the brain and they cause a massive multifocal attack. It's super scary. The MRI lights up like a Christmas tree and the patient oftentimes ends up being hospitalized. And so we can't just stop Gilenya and then wait a couple months to start the next drug. So one way to deal with rebound is to quickly put someone off Gilenya immediately onto something else. But this doesn't work with Mavenclad for the reasons that I just described. So here's the way that we make things work. We stop Gilenya, and a month later, I check a complete blood count, blood laboratory, and I look at the lymphocyte count. Now, the lymphocyte count will give me information about how those cells are leaving the lymph nodes and repopulating the bloodstream. And when the absolute lymphocyte count, the ALC, is over 800, we're good to go. So when I get that first lab, after you've been off Gilenya for 1 month, I'll see where your lymphocytes are. And if they have already gone above 800, then I can give you Mavenclad, because you now have cells that Mavenclad can work on. And we've done this in a very tight time frame. We're not going to risk rebound. But if at 1 month the cells have not returned and the white count shows me that your absolute lymphocyte count is below 0.8, let's say it's 0.3, which is not uncommon, well then it's not time yet. And so what I do is I give 1 gram of IV steroids at that month. And that gram of IV steroids slows the behavior of the white blood cells, and it helps them not bum rush in the brain. And then a month later, I check a count again. And if the absolute lymphocyte count has finally gone above 800, we give Mavenclad. And if it's still below 800, let's say it's gone from 0.3 to 0.6, then we'll give another slug of steroids, another 1 day of steroids at month 2. And then at month 3, we'll check the white count. And we keep this process going until the absolute lymphocyte count crests 800, and we know that the cells are back in the bloodstream, and so that Mavenclad can work on the cells, and then we give the Mavenclad. This is one example of the complexities of managing multiple sclerosis disease-modifying therapies. It takes a careful hand and a lot of discussion, and I hope that you've gotten something out of this. If you would like to hear more content like this, where I share some of the clinical decision-making that goes on in the MS clinic, definitely leave a comment in the section down below. And if you'd like to hear more about these medicines, click the video that's on your screen right now. My name's Boster, and until my next video or my next live stream, or even better yet, the next time I see you at the Boster Center for MS, be safe and take care.